Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Amalina Sahira binti Mak Musa and with my partner Balkish binti Makno. So as for this session, I will explain on the isolation of the anaerobic rumen fungi. So first, this is the methods in isolation of anaerobic fungi in big pictures of it. So we'll start with the sampling of the anaerobic rumen fungi from the cow. Next is the isolation of the anaerobic rumen fungi into roll tube agar media. Next is subculturing it into the glucose loppy agar, and then we observe the colony of the fungi under the microscope. So this is the methods and some errors that we have done during when we're handling the experiment, and there's some of the recommendation from the madam and also from Dr. Wan. First, during the sampling of the rumen fluid, we actually have the best time to take the sample from the cow is after 1 hour of feeding it, as it contains a lot of cellulose degrading fungi presence. Next is during isolation of the rumen fluid, there's some error during pipetting. So what madams recommend to us is before transfer it to the dilution blank, we filter the sample first. Next is to isolate the rumen fluid to the roll tube agar media. There's also error occur when doing it, as there is a bubble present in the agar. So how we going to prevent it? We must tilt the tube slowly, but we have to tilt it to make sure the agar, the sample is mixed well. Next is the absorption of the rumen fluid into the roll tube agar media. Most of us, the agar become pink instead of yellowish or colorless. So the recommendation step is the tube must be kept immediately after the isolation. Must kept immediately. Next is subculture the single colony into the glucose sloppy agar. In order to make sure that we doesn't pick the same colony, we must pick the colony that far from each other in order to get a pure culture. Okay, so next I will explain on the application of the anaerobic fungi. First, in the industry, it is benefit in biogas production as it produce methane. Next is the source of biological hydrogen. As in agriculture, anaerobic fungi can stimulate the activity of the methanogenic archaea, as in the rumen archaea also present, and this kind of anaerobic fungi can activate the methanogenic archaea activities to produce methane. Next, anaerobic fungi also can maintain the microbial community in the rumen environment, as the anaerobic fungi can grow in the low pH, and from there they can manage to control the activities of the other microbial community. Next, we'll proceed to the precaution steps. For the precaution step, first is during the sampling preparations. First, we need to wear gloves to protect our hands. For example, if we have cut, so we do not want the infection to occur. Second, to tighten the cap bottles.
After we taking the sample, we need to cap the bottles, and next we need to wash the bottles to prevent any contaminations to the sample. For the isolation and subculture of the anaerobic, we need to make sure that no oxygen presence in the tube. So we need to immediately tighten the tube after we insert the sample into the tube. Then we need to flame the tube, and also we need to flame the cap. Need to flame the rubber stopper cap to prevent the contaminations. And during tighten the cap, we need to twist the rubber stopper instead of press it hardly, because the tube can break and can cause injury to the experimenter. For the observation of fungi under microscope, we need to place the cover slip slowly, as it can cause bubble if we put it uh, too harsh. Next, we need to shake the sample before we need to shake the tube before we take the sample, because we want to avoid the clump. Since if there is a clump and when we observe under microscope, we cannot see the morphology, the good morphology under microscope. That's all from us. As for the conclusion, we can conclude that we learned a lot of things during this class. We learn how to isolate the anaerobic fungi using conventional methods. So I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.